If you have ever felt tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix, this verse was written for you. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. It is on coffee mugs, hospital cards, phone wallpapers. It is one of the most comforting sentences Jesus ever spoke, and almost everyone reads it wrong. Because when we hear the word rest, we picture a vacation, a day off, a nap, doing nothing. And then we come to this verse exhausted, we sit with it, we feel a little better for a moment, and the tiredness comes right back. And we quietly wonder why the promise didn't work. Here's the problem. The rest Jesus is offering in this verse is not the rest you think he's offering. The Greek word does not mean stop working. And the very next thing Jesus says, the part nobody quotes, proves it. Because right after he says, I will give you rest, he says, take my yoke upon you. A yoke, a farming tool for pulling heavy loads. Who offers you rest and then hands you a yoke? In the next few minutes, that contradiction is going to unlock the whole verse. Let's start with the tiredness. Jesus addresses all who are weary and burdened. Two different words, and they are not the same kind of tired. The first word, kopiao, means the exhaustion that comes from your own labor, active effort, the tiredness of someone who has been working, striving, trying hard. It is self-inflicted, in a sense, the weariness of carrying something you picked up yourself. The second word, burdened or heavy laden, is passive. It means a weight that was placed on you, something someone else loaded onto your shoulders. Sit with that distinction because it maps perfectly onto modern life. There is the exhaustion you create, the striving, the proving, the never enough. And there is the exhaustion you inherit, the expectations laid on you by family, by culture, by religion, by everyone who ever told you what you had to be. Jesus names both. He does not say, come to me if your tiredness is valid. He says, all of you, both kinds, come. But to understand what he offers instead, you have to understand what he was actually talking to. Because in the first century, weary and burdened was not a vague feeling. It was a specific religious reality, and it had a name. In first century Judaism, there was a phrase, the yoke of the Torah. Every rabbi had a yoke. It did not mean a farming tool. It meant his interpretation of God's law, his particular set of rules for how to live rightly. When you became a rabbi's disciple, you took his yoke. You submitted to his way of reading scripture, his standards, his demands. And the dominant yoke of Jesus' day was the yoke of the Pharisees. It was crushing. Later, in Matthew chapter 23, Jesus describes it directly. They tie up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. That is the weariness Jesus is speaking to, not just general tiredness, the specific grinding exhaustion of people trying to earn God's approval under a religious system that kept raising the bar and never offered rest. People who had been told, God is watching and you are not doing enough, never enough. Now hear the verse again, in that context. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, all of you crushed under the yoke of a religion that never lets you rest, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Do you see what Jesus is doing? He's not offering the absence of a yoke. He's offering a different one. He's not saying throw off all authority, all structure, all direction, and just relax. He is saying you are already carrying a yoke. It is breaking you. Trade it. Take mine instead. This is why the rest equals vacation reading fails. Jesus is not offering escape from the load of life. He is offering a change of masters. The question was never whether you would carry a yoke. Everyone carries something. The question is whose. And this is where the Greek word for rest changes everything. The word is anapausis, and it does not mean inactivity. It does not mean stopping. In the Greek Old Testament, this exact word is used in Genesis chapter 2 for God's rest on the seventh day, the Sabbath rest, the rest God entered not because he was tired, but because the work was complete and good. So the rest Jesus offers is not the rest of doing nothing. It is Sabbath rest, the deep, settled peace of work being done right, of being aligned with the purpose you were made for, of laboring from a place of acceptance instead of laboring to earn it. That is the difference between the two yokes. Under the old yoke, you work to be accepted. Under the yoke of Jesus, you are accepted, and from that acceptance, you work. Same effort, maybe. Completely different soul. There is one more detail, and it is the reason the whole thing holds together. Jesus says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart." The word gentle is P-R-O-C-E. It does not mean weak. It means strength under control, power placed at the service of kindness. And humble in heart means something even more radical. A master who refuses to dominate, who does not crush his followers under his authority. Think about what that means for the yoke. A yoke joins two animals together to share a load. When Jesus says, "Take my yoke," he is not handing you a burden and walking away. He is stepping into the yoke beside you. The load is shared, and the one sharing it is the gentlest, strongest presence in existence. That is why he can say, in the very next verse, "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Not because the load disappears, but because you are no longer pulling it alone, and you are no longer pulling it to earn something. You are pulling it beside the one who already loves you. If this is the kind of thing you find yourself thinking about, the actual meaning hiding underneath the translation, this is the whole reason this channel exists. We have done this with other words too. Shalom, Hesed, the secret place in Psalm 91. I'll leave those for you when this is done, but stay with me, because there's one last thing in this verse. We started with a contradiction. Who offers rest and then hands you a yoke? Now you have the answer. Jesus is not offering you a life with no weight. He is offering to take the crushing weight you were never meant to carry. The weight of earning your worth, of proving yourself, of a God who is never satisfied, and replace it with a yoke that fits. A yoke he carries with you. A yoke that leads somewhere. The rest is not the absence of the load. The rest is who you're yoked to. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Not rest from work, rest for your soul. That is the whole verse.